This is the Unit 5 presentation, Being an Audience Member. You'll recognize some of these terms that we've described before to consider when experiencing and analyzing plays. There's three main factors that theatricians use to manipulate audiences: group dynamics, willing suspension of disbelief, and aesthetic distance. So when you sit in an audience of other people, you really function as one large whole. You laugh, you weep, and experience feelings all at the same time. Sometimes your emotion actually overcomes your intellect, and laughter can become infectious. The willing suspension of disbelief simply means that you're accepting the world of the play over that of our everyday reality. Remember that you need to be willing to suspend the idea that what you're seeing isn't real and pretend that it is real. Here's a photo from the play Fuddy Mears, performed at Lincoln College in Illinois. It's in a somewhat realistic but slightly exaggerated kitchen. The characters are quirky, but the actors work hard so that you will believe, even if just for a few hours, that they are who they say they are. An aesthetic distance, then, is the audience's ability to remove themselves so that they can contemplate and evaluate the performance and the play. In other words, the audience can see the entire progression of the story and know everything that is shown about each character, whereas the characters in the story only know what's happening to them. There's two main modes of theater, and everything you see that's a theatrical performance will be one or the other. One is called presentational, which means the characters speak directly to the audience. Sometimes they break the action in the story even to speak directly to the audience and look them in the eye. They're presenting the story forward towards the audience. Whereas in representational theater, they are representing the story on the stage without acknowledging the audience. The actors know that the audience is there, but the characters don't. Sometimes we call this the fourth wall because it's as if we have removed the fourth wall of the room and we are just looking inside and watching the action. Bertolt Brecht is a name I want you to know. He was a famous theatrician in the early part of the 20th century in Europe, and he had a major effect on the way we think about storytelling. First of all, he believed in epic theater. He thought stories should be very big, have very large themes that were universal and comprehensive, such as war, famine, politics, very kind of dark themes. But he thought the best way to get those across is to use what's called the alienation effect. So what this means is that he thought maybe it's not so important to be realistic because if an audience does get too wrapped up in their emotions, they do lose their intellect. So he believed that they wouldn't really have the intellect to think about the problems in the play, such as war and famine, because they'd actually want to try to forget about it. He believed that by creating characters who were a little goofy or spoofing reality, then the audience would laugh and relax a little bit and then think about the issues more deeply. This is a fascinating concept in our contemporary culture because look at how it's progressed into our contemporary culture in our forms of storytelling now, such as TV sitcoms or shows like Saturday Night Live and quirky dark comedies like Edward Scissorhands or Fargo. So Brecht's theory of alienation, although developed in the early 20th century, still has a lot of resonance today. I want you to think about theater etiquette as you're getting ready to go see a show. There's some things to keep in mind. Be early. Make sure you have enough time to get seated so the show can start on time. The number one reason why shows start late is because of the audience. Don't bring or use your electronics. No recordings. Don't disturb those around you. Stay seated and be prepared, like I said, to go to the theater. There's some interesting blogs about that on the previous slide and also in the Unit 5 information that I give you. So as you are preparing to go to the theater, I want you to think about three things. Well, actually a few more than three things. First of all, check your local listings to find out what you want to go see. Reserve and buy your tickets in advance. Keep in mind that these are probably going to be non-refundable, non-exchangeable, so be sure of your date and time when you buy them. Read some previews of the play, see what other people have said about it, or some reviews. And a very important point is to think about what you want to wear. We always do this every day anyway. But ask others if you're not sure, ask the box office. Read the program that they give you when you first get there, because a lot of times this will have important information about the play, the history of the playwright, why they wrote the play, why the director chose the play, what the director thinks about the play. This is all great stuff as you're getting ready to watch it and as you're getting ready to write your paper. And of course, you want to analyze and discuss afterwards with those you went to see the show with, so you can put it in context and maybe also bounce around some ideas you want to write about. Here's three main things to think about as you're getting ready to write. What is the artist trying to say? How did they do it? How well? And was it worth doing? So what was the message of the play? Do you think they got it across? And is it relevant, in other words? So let's talk about a critique versus a review, two kind of different things. Critique is more academic, it's more thoughtful, it discerns between just the popularity of the show and the actual quality of the show. It includes more discussion points, and it covers all of the elements, not just the play itself, but the whole environment. Also, all the elements that you want to talk about as far as technical stuff. Whereas a review is usually used more for just informing audiences so they can be prepared for what they want to see. Sometimes theaters will use it for marketing. They'll use newspapers and blogs as the main audience they're looking for. And it's more of a synopsis or a critical evaluation. So here are some pointers in writing an effective play reaction paper. Follow the guidelines in the Assignment Resources tab. Write in the narrative, so paragraph form, introduction, body, conclusion. Use the provided questions as a guide. Just answer the questions as specifically as you can that I provide for you. And describe why you felt the way you did. Not just, yes, I did think that, but why? What made you think that way? Give details. Be specific like you are in your discussions that we have on Blackboard. Avoid simple judgments, just like I like this or I didn't like this. Describe why and be able to defend it. Describe what you saw, for example, in a particular moment in the play, how you interpreted that event, and how it fits within the whole of the production. If there was a particular fight scene that stood out, that you thought was well done, and that fit in with the whole production, how you interpreted, maybe you thought it didn't fit. Maybe you thought it didn't make any sense. So talk about specific moments in the show and how they affected you. And of course, proofread. The writing lab is free and here to help you. Have your roommate proofread it, your mom and dad. Sometimes your eye makes the corrections for you and somebody else can catch typos better than you can. Doesn't mean you're a bad writer, just means you need a little help reviewing it. Something to think about too, personal censorship. This is when you're altering, restricting, or suppressing information, images, or words. Don't worry about this. Try to be open-minded. So as your responsibility as an audience member, prepare yourself for what you're going to see, even if it's something that you wouldn't normally pick out. Be open-minded to what you're about to see and try to empathize with the actual story that's trying to be told. Use aesthetic distance to your advantage. Here's where you can sit back and say, I'm not a part of this, but I can see why it's important. And of course, go beyond your own reaction and ask those three critical questions. What are they trying to say? How well are they saying it? And is it relevant to not just me, but to the larger culture? The end.